For as long as marketing's been a thing, there's been this one giant, nagging question. Is any of this actually working? I mean, how do we prove that the money we're spending is really driving the business forward and not just, vanishing into thin air? You've probably heard this quote before. It's from a department store pioneer, John Wanamaker, and it's over a century old. But man, does it still hit home today. It perfectly captures that core problem we all still deal with. We kind of know some of it is working, but figuring out which part and then proving it to everyone else, well, that's the real mountain to climb. And let's be real, today that old dilemma has morphed into something much more intense. It's a high-stakes grow or go world out there. Just look at Coca-Cola back in 2017. They literally got rid of the chief marketing officer role and replaced it with a chief growth officer. The message couldn't have been clearer. It's not just about running cool campaigns anymore. It's about delivering measurable growth, period.
So, how in the world do you actually meet that challenge? How do you finally answer Wanamaker's 100-year-old question? Well, it turns out there is a proven, systematic way to do it. It's called the ROI Methodology, and it's designed from the ground up to give marketers like us the credible, hard data we need to finally demonstrate our value.
Now, what's so cool about this is that it isn't some brand new pie-in-the-sky theory somebody just dreamed up. Nope, this is a battle-tested methodology from the ROI Institute, and honestly, it's considered the gold standard for this kind of evaluation.
And the proof is in the pudding, right? It's been adopted in over 6,000 organizations, and get this, it's used by a whopping 85% of Fortune 500 companies. So why is everybody using it? It's simple. Because it's a logical, step-by-step process that gives you a credible way to connect the dots from your marketing efforts all the way to the bottom line.
At the very heart of this whole thing is an idea called building the chain of value. And the best way to think about it, seriously, is like a prosecutor in a courtroom. They can't just stand up and say, he's guilty. They have to build an unbroken chain of evidence, piece by piece, where every single link is connected logically. And that's exactly what you're doing here. You're creating this undeniable flow of data that shows step by step how your specific marketing program led to real, tangible business value. Each link in that chain has to prove the next one. No gaps allowed. So what does this chain actually look like? Well, it's built across 5 different levels. We start super simple at level 1, reaction. Did people even like the ad? Then we move to level 2, learning. Okay, did they actually learn anything about the product? That naturally leads to level 3, action. Did they then go visit the website? And from there, we get to level 4, business impact. Did our sales numbers actually go up? And only when we have all that can we calculate the final ultimate prize, level 5, the actual ROI.
All right, a 5-level framework. That's great. It sounds logical. But how do you make the data actually believable? The real magic of this whole methodology is in the specific techniques it uses. This is where we get into the nuts and bolts of really proving our case beyond a shadow of a doubt.
And there it is, the question. The one every single marketer hears from the finance department. Sure, sales went up, but we also launched a new product, and our main competitor totally fumbled their latest release. So how do we really know it was your campaign that did it? The answer is a critical step called isolating the effects. This is the secret sauce. It's a process for scientifically separating the impact of your program from all the other noise happening in the business and in the market. This is how we finally figure out which half of Wanamaker's money was actually the half that worked. One of the cleanest and, honestly, most powerful ways to do this is with a simple control group. So in this example, you have one group of salespeople who got new marketing training, and a similar group that got nothing. The trained group sold 215 units a month. The control group, 205. That difference, those 10 extra units, you can confidently say came directly from your program. It's clean, it's simple, and it is very, very hard to argue with. Okay, fantastic. We've proven our program is responsible for 10 extra units. But you and I both know the C-suite doesn't really talk in units. They talk in dollars and cents. So how do we make that leap from impact to cold, hard cash? And this is where the methodology gets really, really smart, because this isn't just about making up numbers. It uses established, credible techniques to convert that business impact into a monetary value. So, for example, if your marketing improved customer satisfaction, you can link that to hard data, like a reduction in customer service calls, and then calculate the real cost savings from that. You're turning a so-called soft metric into a hard number. Once you have those monetary benefits isolated and calculated, you plug them into the granddaddy of them all, the classic ROI formula. And look, this is the exact same formula your CFO uses to decide whether to build a new factory. This immediately puts marketing on the exact same level playing field as every other major investment in the business. So what can this look like in the real world? Well, check this out. In one pilot program mentioned in the source material, a company used this exact methodology to check out a new internal marketing push. The result? A credible, totally defensible, data-backed ROI of 118%. I mean, just imagine walking into your next budget meeting with a number like that. Game changer. Which brings us to the last and maybe the most important piece of this whole puzzle. Because look, it's not enough to just have the numbers crunched in a spreadsheet somewhere. You have to use them to tell a compelling story and build your influence. You've got to remember, the data itself is just a tool. It's not the finish line. The whole point of this entire process is to communicate the value you're creating to the people who make the big decisions. It's about translating your amazing results into a story that they understand, and more importantly, that they actually care about. And when you get that story right, the payoff is just massive. This is how you finally shift the conversation from "how much did you spend" to "look at the value we created." You're not just begging for a budget anymore, you're making a rock-solid business case. This is how you secure funding, get that strategic seat at the table, and totally transform marketing's reputation for good. I love this quote from the performance measurement pioneer, Jack Fitz-Innes. He said, "You get what you can sell." And let's be honest, in today's business world, nothing sells better than credible, data-backed impact, and a killer return on investment. Ultimately, that is the huge transformation this methodology offers. It gives you the tools and the framework to finally pull marketing out of the world of subjective opinions, and I think this worked, and plant it firmly in the world of objective, proven business contribution. So the final question isn't for me, it's for you. Take a hard look at your marketing. Right now, is it a cost center or is it a value driver? Because this framework gives you the path to prove it, empowering you to finally show everyone which half of your budget is driving the entire business forward.